Hi everyone, it's Mike with Crane Realty. Just wanted to create this video. It might even be maybe a week or two overdue. It's with regard to the market and where things are at. It's certainly a turning point as the Fed continues to increase the interest rate, which really impacts buyers' bottom line. If you were to go back January, February of this month, it was not uncommon to see prequels and pre-approvals showing interest rates of like 2 3/4, 3 1/4. That was very common. Now it's pretty much solidly at 6%. This week, I believe they're going to be increasing it by another 3/4%. And week after week, if that keeps chipping away and happening, what's going to ultimately take place is it's going to reduce the buying power of that buyer. And then when that happens, properties that they were looking at that they would qualify for at a 200K and so on, now all of a sudden that's really dialed back, right? So over the course of a 30-year loan, if you were to take a property that's closer to like a 1/4 mil, and instead of an interest rate of 3%, you're at 6 or 6.5, you're about adding six figures on top of your loan over the course of 30 years. So it's not just some sort of like, well, that's the interest rate. It's not a really big deal. It's a very big deal, and it's making a big impact for buyers. So what that means is that there's going to be much less buyers, or at the very least, there's an adjustment taking place where buyers, where they were looking at certain homes, let's say at 200K, all of a sudden really need to be realistically looking at 150. That's a very difficult thing for some people to swallow because there's a huge difference in the quality of home at that jump. So for sellers, what this means, a seller's market that we've been able to maintain very strongly over the last certainly 3.5 years, maybe some could argue 4, that's shifting. Certainly, even going back a month ago, you could see a number of different showings taking place, and you would have 5, 10, 15, 20 offers. That's starting to not become the case. Just over the last couple of weeks, several different indicators. Buyers being very quiet, buyers refusing to do showings. A lot of reverse prospecting. So what that is a listing agent, usually via email, reaching on out and saying, hey, you have a buyer that qualifies or has search criteria that matches. So a lot of listing agents doing that. And then when that happens, they're essentially trying to do the work that they didn't have to do before. You put a property on the house and it would just sell because there were so many buyers that were willing to purchase it. Now they're starting to do the legwork. They're doing reverse prospecting. They're hosting a number of different open houses to try to put in the hours to get their property to hopefully sell, which is really crazy. We're seeing price reductions. And the big one is inspections are starting to become acceptable, which is great to hear. That part really is kind of a relief to hear that's back, because I always like to see that for my clients. But the bottom line, you guys, I know it's kind of difficult, especially going back even a month ago, and you can expect a number of different showings, and that's just really not the case now. Now it's kind of a little bit of a waiting game. We pivoted just into this slide, and we'll see if that kind of persists or if something will change. My suggestion to a lot of sellers out there is list and hold. If you've already listed, certainly just hold and see where the market's going to go. Unless you're at a crunch where you have to be moving out of state or something like that under a certain time frame, you're just going to be at the mercy of what the market can do for you. But if anyone has any questions out there, certainly feel free, reach out. I'd be happy to have a conversation about it. There's a lot of properties out there that are getting the traction. Very unique homes and super desirable homes will still be getting that buyers bidding war going on. To be frank with you, though, it will actually be reduced a little bit. So keep that in the back of your mind. So again, feel free, reach out. Be more than happy to have a conversation with you about this. I'm Mike with Crane Realty, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.